did that without breaking anything. Since I did not have my microphone on and I did not have my glasses on, it was much easier. Good morning and welcome to Reno Buddhist Center. We are so happy to see faces here, and we can imagine faces all over the world tuning into our Sunday live stream. So, I was going to say that if you'd found us on the live stream, you could just click on the order of service and know the order of service. But I also remembered that I forgot to post it, so just kind of go with it, feel the flow of the service. It will happen as it happens. If you're here, there's an order of service on your chair, so there we go. We begin by chanting the 3 homages, and then we'll follow that with our Shoshinge chant and incense offering. For those of us here and in person, things need to be different. Reverend Shelley and I have recorded our chants, and so everyone will mind chant the chant. We won't do it out loud because that's not indicated at the moment. We do this to minimize the spread of any harmful particles from our own breath. By chanting in our mind, we internally liberate positive energy. And those at home, we rely on you. I think it's you there, or maybe you there. I can't tell which, there's no light on the camera. We rely on you to chant your little hearts out in a big, big voice for us. So, chant your hearts out. Okay, Shinran Shonin, the founder of our lineage, his picture's over there by Reverend Shelley, wrote our Shoshinge 800 years ago about. In it, it's a poem that compresses his experiences and insights with Pure Land Buddhism into a lyrical poem. He is certainly here with us today. I know that. I can feel it. I am sure of that. In his Shoshinge, we realize the principles that guide our lives. Shinran wanted us to know that this is more than a simple journey from cradle to grave, that we are part of a long, unbroken thread of life that extends infinitely into the past, and we are responsible to extend it further into the future. I mean, it's infinite in the future, but we're only going to be one little part of that. Our Nishihonganji friends call that the golden chain. While we are mind chanting, we will also offer incense. And we would encourage everyone, is anyone new? Anyone new here today? Welcome, welcome. So if someone is been coming for hundreds of years, 20 years, 30 years, or if it's your first day, we will mindfully, we won't congregate, we will just come up one at a time-ish, just nice spacing, a walking meditation to the altar, offer incense, 2 pinches usually, and then return to your seats. There are also 2 other altars here. There's one to Kanon Bodhisattva, the Bodhisattva of compassion. Today's Dharma talks about bodhisattvas, so there's a tie-in there. And then this altar here is to the medicine Buddha for specific medical issues. Yeah, so that was page 1. We will go row by row, starting from the front as we go to do the incense offering. If you're at home, you can offer incense, that's wonderful, but you could also offer water or food, rice, toast, for instance, anything you've got that you can offer as a gift in gratitude to the Buddha for his loving kindness. That's good. So, the incense offering is a cleansing of the mind and body before receiving the Dharma. The burning of incense symbolizes transcending our selfishness and becoming one with all. Here on the altar is Amida Buddha offering boundless wisdom and compassion to us all. Please offer incense with an open heart and deep gratitude to all your teachers.
Udam Saranam Gacchami Dhammam Saranam Gacchami Sangham Saranam Gacchami.奇妙無量寿如来南無不可思議光法蔵菩薩に寺在世自在応部所刀剣勝負浄土院国土人伝自然幕本流無常修正願長法慶右大偶勢高校士唯士小寿十世名称文字法不法無量無変更無限無体公園の少女歓喜知恵子不断難死無償子小日が交渉人生一切群上無交渉本願用語少女語死心信行願人上等学章大涅槃非死滅道願成就如来勝意公修世唯世弥陀本願会五辱悪事群上会往生如来両実言の本一年喜愛心不断本の特涅槃本性逆法再入領収死入開一味聖主信仰上昇後意の水波無明暗本内心臓四分無上空心事心人天異尿に幸福運無運無しげ妙無暗逆心謙虚大狂気即応超勢合悪臭一切全幕本部人門心如来偶勢願運言広大小芸者全人用踏んだりけ微打部本元年部邪変教がなく修上信行十字人に難修しな昔インド最天地論下中華自治域史構想現代小構成小異妙如来本税大き釈迦如来両河線一種合行断天軸流樹大事修道生執の財派有無権先世大乗無常法召喚議事昭和なく賢治難行六六信行異行指導楽億年弥陀部本願自年即時流上唯の上昇如来を王法大悲偶勢音天神菩薩増論世奇妙無下根如来永衆他ら献身寺高専王朝大誓願こういう本願力栄光医療群上小維心記入空毒大崩壊筆脈如来永衆衆 特使連芸造成会即昇信用法昇進有本の人間人図入賞自音自用芸本自動願行天使情報乱唱法さらい三蔵ルシ十条教本書専業気楽法天神菩薩論中芸報道因果見世願大言栄光有他力少女死因有信心惑前本部新人法承知承知即涅槃必死無量根陽道小宇宙上開復系同社継承道南省有名浄土活入万全自力変言宗円満特語感染症三風三神慶音言増魔法明道非因一生増悪地偶税思案了解証明化全道六名無償意法愛上三両逆惑光明明後見二年大入本願大智慧幼者小樹混合心狂気一年総合用意大と逆三人即所法所市上楽見鎮公開一大教返帰安養可二祭先祖終身反戦人法慶二道小弁流極十悪人唯勝部大薬剤非正集中煩悩証言追復権大義無権上昇が本次元空妙仏教連民全幕本部人新宗教書本編集戦弱本願具惑星現代生じ臨伝芸慶地異常異常死即入弱上無意楽一子信心に納入不教大義修士と上妻無縁極辱悪王族自修行心唯過信し
安にしくどくようの聖祭どうも大神お嬢はナマンダ There seems to be a small forest here. The Bodhi tree is here for us. I would like to do the reading now, but just in case my strange winter allergy crops up, I will take a touch of peppermint to loosen my vocal cords. Okay. That wasn't the sutra, that was just the introduction. I'm not supposed to throw the sutra on the ground. The Sutra of Maitreya Buddha's Attainment of Buddhahood. Thus I have heard, at one time the Buddha was staying in the kingdom of Magadha near the Pasa mountain, where past Buddhas had overcome the Maras. It was during the summer meditation retreat when the Buddha was doing walking meditation on the mountaintop with Shariputra. He spoke this verse: "Hearken single-mindedly, in radiant great peace, one with unsurpassed love will appear in the world. He will pronounce the true Dharma, and all will be infused with it, like the thirsty drinking sweet nectar. All will swiftly set off on the liberation path." Shariputra the wise arranged his robes and sat to one side. Having followed the Buddha to turn the wheel of Dharma, he was the Buddha's right hand, upholding the Dharma. Out of sympathy for sentient beings, he wanted them to be liberated from the bondage of suffering. He said to the Buddha, "World-honored one, just now you spoke in verse on the mountaintop, praising the one with the foremost love. This was never mentioned in previous sutras. We are filled with expectation, hoping to hear you speak of the next Buddha, who will open this sweet nectar path, to hear his name, Maitreya, and to hear of his merit, his spiritual power, and his splendid Buddha field. Based on what roots of goodness will we be able to see Maitreya Buddha? With what mindset should one walk the Eightfold Path?" When Shariputra asked this question, all gathered joined their palms reverently, and with one voice said to the Buddha, "We request that the world-honored one will enable us to eventually see Maitreya Buddha, the fruition of the greatest spiritual growth, who will teach great loving kindness and vast compassion universally to all sentient beings." All those gathered, with one voice, sang this praise in verse: "Namu Buddhaya." Complete with the 10 powers, the great leader of energetic progress, valiant and fearless, the one with knowledge of all knowledge, transcending the 3 realms of existence, acquiring the 3 thorough clarities, subjugating the Maras. His body is a Dharma vessel, mind like open sky, quiet and peaceful towards existence or non-existence, perfectly understanding a world empty of separateness, praised by the world. With one mind, we all take refuge, requesting that the Buddha turn the wheel of Dharma and teach of Maitreya. Then the world-honored one told Shariputra, "I will expound broadly to you. Listen and consider it well. All of you today, with a truly good intention, ask the Tathagata about the unsurpassed way of great love that the Tathagata sees as clearly as a mango in his palm. Shariputra, if you comprehend Maitreya Buddha's great loving kindness, you will experience pure mind. The Buddha field of Maitreya will be a land of pure life with no deceit. He neither embraces nor clings to his achievement of dana, sila, and prajna. It will be splendid because of his 10 wonderful vows. When sentient beings, drawn by his great loving kindness, invoke their subtle minds, they will see Maitreya Buddha. They will be reborn in his Buddha field, tame their faculties, and follow his teachings. Please join your palms and single-mindedly take refuge in the great loving kindness, compassionate Buddha to come, Maitreya Buddha. So the Buddha spoke. Namanda, namanda, namanda. We will now have a few minutes of meditation accompanied by soft music. Thank you.
Yay, I did it. Okay. Welcome, everyone. So wonderful to have you here with us, everyone. Welcome to Rena Buddhist Center. So happy to be with you in this precious moment. Everyone is always welcome at RBC, however you feel comfortable coming in. And you can even call us and make an appointment to come speak with us individually if you'd like. We're here for you. We hope everyone had a safe and wholesome holiday celebration, managing to find joy in more intimate, simple gatherings. This magical time of year reminds us that the season of giving seems to be presided over by a jolly old elf, a bodhisattva named Mr. Claus. While this is not our tradition, Buddhism is always comfortable blending with colorful local customs. Dr. Matsunaga's Bodhi tree right here is a blending of trees and lights. It made sense. Dana, or selfless giving, is the first practice of Buddhism. We give to others or the temple without expectation of return or reward. If we shade away from the storm of commercialism, that is better. So let's talk about bodhisattvas. What is a bodhisattva? A bodhisattva is a regular person who makes a vow to become a Buddha. And these vows have a special catch to them. The bodhisattva vows to remain and help in the difficult realm of samsara until all other beings are enlightened. That is a heroic vow because it will result in many extra lifetimes of suffering for the sake of others. Remember, you and I, really anyone who directs their intention, their life to practicing the way of the Buddha for the sake of others, embodies some of that bodhisattva energy. But more on that later. Most of us live by following desires. We are at the mercy of our karma and its bitter fruit. That's why Shinran called us beings of blind passions. Our bonbooning nature, we're just kind of goofballish. Our actions are largely dictated by habits formed by our karma. We are born into this world with desires and live our lives just reacting or responding to them. Aversion and attraction directs our actions. The bodhisattva is different. Following the vow, they act to one purpose: rescuing all beings from the suffering place, a seemingly endless round of rebirth in samsara. A bodhisattva realizes that the life that flows through each of us and through everything around us is really all connected. It is one life, a universe of oneness with particularity. To say that ultimately means that who I really am cannot be separated from what surrounds me, all that has ever been and all that will ever be. With this view held in mind, the bodhisattva's motivation for living is very different from the rest of us. We live thinking only about our personal stuff, the narrow circumstances of what we like and what we don't like, aversion and attraction, on and on. A bodhisattva lives by the vow. A bodhisattva lives this vow, and it can impact her life in not the same way that it impacts our lives. When we embody the bodhisattva, every aspect of life, even the fate of sentient beings in the 10 directions, live within us. With this in mind, they work to contribute and nurture and rescue and simply help. Here is the Bodhisattva vow. However innumerable all beings are, I vow to save them all. However inexhaustible delusions are, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable Dharma teachings are, I vow to master them all. However endless the Buddha's way is, I vow to follow it. This is a big deal. It's not enough for a bodhisattva to just follow the 5 precepts. These guidelines many Buddhists observe in our lives: not killing, not stealing, not lying, not misusing sexuality, and not getting intoxicated. There are times a bodhisattva has to break these to actualize the vow. And when they do, they have a steely resolve to accept whatever consequences might follow. That's why we say, together with all sentient beings, regardless of what hell he might fall into in the process. A poet, Alberto Saijo, wrote this on the Bodhisattva vow. This bodhisattva vows to be the last one off the sinking ship. You sign up and find out it's forever. Passenger list endless. Ship never empties. Ship keeps sinking, but doesn't quite go under. On board, angst and panic and desperation reign. Turns out bodhisattvahood is a stinking job, like any other, but different, in that there's no weekends, no holidays, no vacations, no golden years of retirement. You're spending all your time and energy getting other people off the sinking ship. Into lifeboats, bound gaily for nirvana. While there you are sinking, and of course, you had to go and give up your life jacket. Still cheerful as we sink, spirit ever buoyant in this stinking, sinking samsara. Do we know people like this? We do. This reads like samsara is the Titanic. And yes, it is. It's a lot like the Titanic. Now you have a better idea of what a bodhisattva does. We call them great beings, dining. Beings must be. They do exist. I don't want to get too literal, but questions come. Are they a species? Are they UFO aliens? How do they do? What do they do? Is this just more magical gewgaw from a priest in a robe? What do we really mean here by bodhisattva? Let's just think of the bodhisattvas we know of. Kanon? Yes. Seishi? Yes. Jizo? Yes. Dharmakara? And Hotai. Hotai is a bodhisattva that we see most of the time in Asia, in shops and cafes, and we see him here too, in Chinese restaurants and grocery stores. Hotai is a bodhisattva who brings contentment and happiness. He is a guardian of children, a patron of bartenders, oddly enough. Hotai is always cheerful. The laughing, they kind of mistakenly call him the laughing Buddha. He has a big belly. He is or will be the next Buddha, Maitreya Buddha, a Buddha of loving kindness. Hotai carries a large cloth bag over one shoulder. It is one that never empties. he uses it to help others. It has an inexhaustible supply of treasures, including food and drink, and coins for adults and candy for children. He also holds a fan called an uji, a wish-giving fan. If you see him on a scroll, he is sometimes shown surrounded by a group of children playing in delight. A jolly old elf. He is loosely based on an actual person of the 9th century, a Zen priest in China. He traveled, giving candy to the poor children and coins to the poor adults. I've been asked if bodhisattvas are real. No, but not that often, actually. It may be that people are sheepish about that kind of potentiality and confrontational question. We answer all questions openly here. While some of my answer does hinge on what we mean by real, it is an easy question. Yes, they are real. Anyone who says they are not real is patently wrong. These are very skeptical times. It is harder to believe in things now than in long ago times. Maybe a person doesn't believe in anything they can't see. Maybe they think that nothing can exist that is not comprehensible by their little mind. For them, the spiritual world is less accessible. All of our individual self-contained minds are little, whether you're a rocket scientist or a bricklayer. Makes no difference. We are all bonbunin, as the Shoshinge points out. Petty, goofy ones, struggling and confused most of the time. I include myself in this. In this vastness of the universe, humans are small things like insects are to us. We are like an ant in our mind's capacity compared to the boundless beingness all around us. As measured against a Buddha who is capable of grasping the whole of truth and knowledge. We are small, and that's okay. We are okay, just as we are. So, bodhisattvas, yes, there are bodhisattvas. Hotai, Kannon, Seishi, Jizo, they exist as certainly as love and generosity and faith exists. We all know that those are real and give life its highest beauty and joy. I don't want to imagine a world without bodhisattvas. Did anyone else notice the marked similarities between Santa and Hotai? It is important. We are all connected deep down. The energy of sacrifice and rescue and help is real. To not believe in bodhisattvas, how can small ones like us, imagine the wonders unseen and those unseeable in this universe? We have limitations. Maybe you could hire people to watch out for bodhisattvas, but even if they didn't see any, what would that prove? Their eyes are not open. The most real things in the world are things we cannot see. We see them by faith, by loving kindness, compassion, and deep wisdom. We see through the deep hearing of the light. These ways of seeing push aside the limiting curtain of our calculating mind and view the abiding beauty of the everythingness, the Dharmakara. In all the universe, there is nothing else more real and abiding. The idea of no bodhisattvas? Ridiculous. Of course, bodhisattvas. They live and they always have lived. 500 years from now, they will continue to make our hearts smile, to share the Dharma, and to come to our aid in compassion and wisdom. What I'm trying to say is we all contain or manifest this bodhisattva energy. and we get better at allowing that to flow through us. We have a wonderful holiday. We've had a wonderful holiday of giving. Mr. Klaus is a great example of a bodhisattva, embodied by everyone's aspiration toward generosity and joy. He manifests everywhere, unconstrained by material existence, but quite real just the same, quite real. How do we freely manifest the bodhisattva? It's easy, like making any new habit. If we consistently apply some measure of effort, here are some practices that are helpful. Regularly setting an intention toward selflessness. Every morning you can get in the habit of saying to yourself a bodhisattva thought, like, today I am fortunate to wake up. I am alive. I have a precious human life. I am not going to waste it. I'm going to use all my energies to extend my heart to others. I'm going to show kindness towards others. I'm going to benefit others as much as I can. Compassionate action. Plan on doing something small each day to help end the suffering of others, even in just a tiny way. A smile, a kind word, or just talking about a problem with another person is an action of compassion. And lastly, an evening reflection. Take a few minutes before you go to bed to reflect upon your day. Think about the people you met and talked to. How did you treat them? How did you talk to each other? Think about the intention that you set in the morning to act with compassion towards others. How well did you do? What could I do better? What did I learn from each experience of the day? These compassionate practices can easily fold into your daily routine. Weave them in and make them a habit. It is important to have the morning and the evening ritual, to frame your day well, an attitude of being compassionate will develop within you. This is the bodhisattva that exists within all of us. They don't exist outside of us. Through us, they promise to listen and relieve the suffering of sentient beings in all 10 directions. This is living in mindfulness of the Buddha Dharma. We say the Nembutsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, in deep gratitude for all the bodhisattva compassion we receive each day. Whether we realize it or not, we receive it each and every day. This certainly does not happen because of anything we do. We benefit from the actions of myriad bodhisattvas working as the other power of Amida Buddha, the compassionate and wise universe that surrounds and supports us. The Buddha shared these teachings out of one great wish. Please repeat after me. May you be happy. May you be free from harm. May you receive boundless compassion. And may peace and harmony fill your heart. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namon Laps, Namon Laps, Namon Laps. Thank you so much for receiving this precious Dharma message. I hope that you know that you are all Bodhisattvas. And you can just actualize that with some intention and mindfulness. And I know you already are. Thank you. We will now have our temple song, Home in the Meadow. If you want to follow along in the book, it's on page 49. And those of you at home, please sing Home in the Meadow. Away, away, come away with me, where the grass grows wild and the winds blow free. Away, away, come away with me, and I'll build you a home in the meadow. Come, come, there's a wondrous land for the hopeful heart and the willing hand. Come, come, there's a wondrous land where I'll build you a home in the meadow. The stars, oh how bright and far, on a world of pure and eternal love. The stars, oh how bright they'll shine, on the home we will build in the meadow. Come, come, there's a wondrous land where the hopeful heart and the willing hand. Come, there's a wondrous land where I'll build you a home in the meadow. Namo. I love that song. It has so many layers of deep meaning because we live in Nevada and the West brings out the sort of settling frontier feeling of we can do anything and we're brave and we've settled this beautiful land. Try to honor and give back to this earth that supports us like a bodhisattva every day. And Dr. Matsunaga and Alicia Matsunaga loved the West and they loved Reno, and they chose this song because this West is like the Western Pure Land. It's our home in the meadow. So, very deep, beautiful meaning. Some really wonderful things coming up. Please look forward to our New Year's Eve celebration. It's going to happen virtually. We're working hard on editing all the recordings. We had many faith leaders and musicians come into the temple and do their beautiful recordings all the last week. And so we are really looking forward to sharing the uplifting messages on loving kindness that we all need. You can tune in around 10:30 at night. We're not really sure. We're going to end at midnight because we have the technology to be able to end at midnight, which normally it was in live land. We were winging it, and we never did actually end on midnight. But we're ending on midnight, so please tune in around 10:30ish, and it's on our live stream channels, either YouTube or Facebook. Like we stream the services there. That is how you will access our New Year's Eve service on loving kindness. Anything else to add, Reverend Matthew?
Yes, and I very specifically promised not to mention that it's Reverend Shelley's birthday today.
You promised.
And I also promised that I would not lead happy birthday to you because we can't sing in closed space. So the best thing we can do to celebrate someone's birthday right now is just applaud. So happy birthday, dear friend.
Thank you all. I can't take it. Thank you.
Okay. Now, when we, that concludes our service. When we finish up, when we leave the hall, we'd like to leave from the back first, and then the next row, and then the next row, and then the next row. We can sort of ring a bell. It seems like an easy, orderly walking meditation. That's what we'll do.